In chapter number 2, we are going to discuss the purpose and benefits of networking devices. If it is networking devices, that means that we are going to look into a local area network. We are going to look into a wide area network. I'm going to discuss with you that what is a client to server model, or what is a peer to my peer model. We are going to discuss what is a thin client. We are going to discuss what is a thick client, and and similarly we are also going to check the differences among them. We are also going to show understanding of the bus, star, mesh, and hybrid topologies as well. And we are going to discuss the cloud computing part as well. And we are going to understand the difference between the wireless and wired networks as well. Other than that, we are going to discuss that how hardware are used to support LAN, what is the role and function of a router, how can you use an Ethernet, and how collisions are detected and avoided. Then we have bit streaming, we have World Wide Web and Internet. We have different, we need to have the hardware that is used to describe the Internet. Then we have IP addresses, URL, and DNS. So let's start this chapter. So this is chapter basically starts with the evolution and the benefits of networking. अच्छा, अब ये जो चैप्टर है मेरे पास, ये है वाइड एरिया नेटवर्क के साथ स्टार्ट होता है. दैट बेसिकली सेज दैट ड्यूरिंग द 1917s it would be normal for a large organization to have computers. The computer that would definitely be a mainframe or a mini computer. That means that by the 1970s, the organizations were used to for having computers, and the most computers they were having was basically an example of either a mainframe or a mini computer. Now, the computer could have running a time sharing operating system with individual users accessing the computer using a terminal that is being connected with a cable. This basically means that the computers that are being used, they were using as an operating system, and the name of that operating system was time sharing. And into that, it was given individual users access to access that computer with the help of a terminal. That means that if you want to access to other computer, you are going to take help of a terminal, and that terminal is connected to the computer with a cable. Matlab, this was something that was used to happen in 1970s, but as the technology was developed and the technology advanced, now we had something that is to be relating as a wide area network, right? Like the wide area network, this is the technology that is currently being used nowadays. But other than that, in the earliest of the times, you can take it an example that I used to have mainframe computers. I used to have mini computers, and people used to access that computer with the help of terminals. But as the technology developed, they introduced us with a concept that is known as wide area network. In easy words, I also call it a LAN. So what does a WAN means? A WAN basically means that it is a network where all of the computers connected are basically based on a geographically larger area. As you can see that as the word says wide area. Wide area basically means that the computers that are connected are based on thousands of kilometers apart, right? So when you are referring to computers that are being connected thousands of kilometers apart, that means that this is a wide area network. But what are the advantages of that? Some advantages of a wide area network is that a job could be run on remote computer that had the required application software. This benefit basically means that if you want to complete a task, and if you do not have that computer nearby, so basically you can use a remote computer. A remote computer is someone that can be accessed without being there physically. That means that you can access that computer system no matter where you are, either with the help of your mobile phone or any computer system. So basically, if it is connected into a wide area network, that means that it is being it the like the tasks or the job can be run on a remote computer that had that required software. You do not have to be there necessary in presence. The other point is that a data archive that was stored on a remote computer can be accessed. If you want to access the data that is stored onto your remote computer, you can definitely access that. You do not need to go to that exact place. The third point says that a message could be transmitted electronically to a user on a remote computer. If you want to transmit a message, it can also be transmitted. So these are basically some of the benefits of a WAN. However, if there is a question into your paper that what is basically a WAN? So you are going to write that a WAN is basically a type of a network that is geographically in larger areas, or that is in an area that is widespread thousands of kilometers apart. So what are some of the advantages? The advantages are that what we have discussed right now, that it is based on a remote server, it can be accessed anywhere, anytime, and message could be transmitted electronically. Whereas if I discuss with you that what are the characteristics of this, so characteristics basically like the properties or the rules of that. So basically, if I'm referring to characteristics, this means that it will be used by an organization or company to connect sites or branches. So for example, if there is an organization, the name of the organization is ABC, and perhaps it is connecting different number of areas together, right? Like for example, if it has a site A, for example, if it has a site B, for example, if it has a site C. So basically what happens that if the organization wants to connect all these sites and all these branches together, so they basically use a wide area network system that is to be known as a WAN, right? Like for example, you can take the example of banks. A bank's branches is all over within a single city or in a single site. So perhaps how it is connected, this is connected with the help of a wide area network. It is used by organizations or companies to connect sites or to connect branches. Do you have any queries still here?
No, sir.
The second point says that it will not be owned by the organization or the company, right? Like a van is not something that should be owned, or if it is under into an ownership of any company. It will be leased from a PSTN. I'm going to discuss this into our lecture that what is a public switch telephone network company, but it is leased from there. For now, you can think of it as a service provider. A dedicated communication line will be provided by the PSTN. PSTN is basically a service provider that allows you for the internet connections. So if you want to make a connection, first of all, what you need to do is that you need to have a dedicated communication line. So if you want to take that line, you need to take it from the PSTN. The transmission medium will be fiber optics cable. The transmission within the WAN will be from switch to switch. Now, switches are basically the type of the hardware that is used to connect a number of computers together, right? Like, for example, this is my site A and it has 10 computers. This is my site B, it has 20 computers. Now, all of these 10 computers are connected with a switch right here, and all of these 20 computers are connected with a switch. Switch is a basic hardware, and then these both of the switches are connected with each other. So a switch is basically a hardware that connects the branches of the computer system. A switch will connect the WAN to each side. There will be not any AND system connected directly to a WAN. There will not be any AND system connected directly to the WAN. That means that it has no AND systems. It can be connected, or it can be expanded wherever you want. So any confusion so far?
No, sir.
Okay, so moving on to the next area, which is LAN, which is a local area network. So if I discuss with you the local area network, so the only difference between a WAN, a wide area network, or a local area network is that when I'm referring to a local area network, this means that this is geographically small. So if it is a local area network, this means that it is a network that is geographically small in nature. So if you are referring to one building, one site, a single street, so it has to be a local area network. A local area network is like whenever you are connecting computers together in a single room, in a single building, or a single site. Whereas a wide area network is like you are connecting computers on different sites, probably that are thousands of kilometers apart. But if it is for a shorter distance, you are going to use a local area network. So in the 1980s, the arrival of microcomputers or personal computers changed the concept of computing, and organizations had both of the concepts, either if the computers are connected all in all of the one place, or if it's a standalone computer. A standalone computer means a computer that is not connected in a network. So for making a small connections, there was this term introduced, which means a local area network. And a local area network is basically the one that connects a computer system in one room or building in one site. So, what are the benefits of PCs in a local area network? The first one is that the expense of installing application softwares on each individual PC could be saved by installing the software on application server attached to the LAN instead. Okay, so now what we need to discuss right here is that the expense of installing application software on each individual PC could be saved. That means that if I am referring to the application software, and perhaps if I have a case, and that case is that, for example, if I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 computers. So if I want to install this application software, and application software is basically the name of a software that is going to make use of any application. For example, if you are using an internet or if you are using a network connectivity, so if you are going to install it into the every of your computer, so this is basically going to increase your cost. But if you are taking the help of a local area network, so your cost can be saved. And how it can be saved? Because what you are going to do is that now, instead of installing this application software on all of these computers, what you are going to do is that you are going to install this application software into the server that is attached with the your local area network, because this is the server that is managing the whole of this LAN. So if you are going to do that, you do not have to install this on all of the computers. So do you have any questions in point one?
No, sir.
In the second area, it says that you have a file server. So basically, a file server is another name of a server, and a file server is also connected to the local area network. And what is the reason of that? The reason is that it is used to store larger files, and it also allow files to have shared between the users. For example, if you have created a local area network within the room, and if you wish to share resources, and if you wish to share the files among each other, so you do not have to send it through the internet. You can even establish a connection within the help of a file server. That is going to be much faster, and that is going to be much accurate. So file servers are used for storing and transmitting files within a network, within a server. The third point says that instead of supplying individual operators to the computer to a user's PC, right? Like for example, if I have here six computers, so what do you think that should I be connecting six printers to six computers? That is going to increase my cost a lot of that. Or I can use a single printer and I can connect the all of them. This is possible. This is possible by connecting again a printer with the help of a server. Because if you're connecting a printer with a server, this basically give you the accessibility to all computers in the network to use that. So are you getting the point?
Yes, sir.
Any query still here?
No, sir.
Managers and organizations could use electronic mail to communicate with staff rather than sending papers on the memos, right? Like If you have a local area network established or connected, then you do not need to send letters or something, or if you're just asking any one of the peon to send your letters or anything to any of the member, you can definitely send an electronic email to communicate with each other. The paperless office becomes a possibility where, okay, so now if I'm using a local area network, that basically means that this is a paperless office now, because all of the files are stored onto the internet. It becomes a possibility where our files were to be stored in digital form on a file server rather than copying in a filing cabinets, right? Like what can be a typical LAN characteristics as. So again, just after the advantages, now I have the characteristics of that. Characteristics are the rules. So you need to remember the both of that, right? Like you need to remember that what are the benefits and what are the characteristics. So for example, if it's a characteristic, so characteristics are basically it is going to be used, it will be used by an organization or company within a site or a branch, a single site or a branch, since it is small geographic in nature. It will be allowed by the organization or the company. Yes. It will be one of the many individual LANs at one side. Yes, if it's a one side, it does not have to be necessary that you will be having the one LAN. It could be a many local area networks at one side as well. The transmission medium could be a twisted pair cable or a Wi-Fi. That you need to understand that when I was referring to a WAN, it has one limitation that you have to use a fiber optics. But if you are using a LAN, so you can use the both of that, either a twisted pair cable or a Wi-Fi. Then the LAN will contain a device that allows connection to other networks as well, and there will be AND system connected, which will be the user systems or server. So till now, do you have any queries?
No, sir.